What's up, everybody? This is Chris, aka Old Dirty Cupcake. Today, and all this month, we're going to be talking about horror movies because this is my October Halloween horror movie recommendations. My first time talking on here to you guys. Hope it's enjoyable. Hope I'm not too insufferable. I'm going to probably keep most of these pretty short because I see people doing very long, drawn-out forms of videos for movies and stuff. That's great. Go check them out if you want like deeper dives into backstories about it and all that. These are just recommendations and suggestions of movies that I thoroughly enjoy and I watch pretty much every year, a couple times a year actually, just because they're absolutely incredible. Or some of them are absolute pieces of shit that I completely enjoy because of whatever reason that my stupid fucking brain wants me to enjoy them. Psycho Goreman, looking at you. That was what the fuck. And I love it. Love that fucking movie. It's good. It's good shit. In the worst possible way. So, my first movie that I'm suggesting on October 1st for the Halloween horror movie recommendations, we are going with the one, the only 1980s Maniac starring Joe Spinell, right? He plays Frank Zito. And he is an Italian-American serial killer. And I'm not going to spoil too much. Don't want to give too much away if you've never seen it. As you can see by the opening clip, there's some really wild scenes in this movie. A lot of good, amazing practical effects. Tom Savini's in it. He's the practical effects guru in several of my favorite movies throughout my entire 42 years on this earth. And this movie, you're watching Joe Spinell, okay? He's the entire reason why you're watching this movie. He sells this character, and he is this character, and it makes you really uncomfortable watching him because he is such a strange dude. He's such a strange cat. Mind you, he wrote this movie with C.A. Rosenberg, and it was directed by William Lustig. They had a very small budget, and a lot of it was shot guerrilla style. So they didn't have permits or anything. They just had to go shoot it and do the best they could with it. And the moral of this whole thing is he was abused as a child, and he grew up to have some very certain specific ways that he likes to kill his victims in this movie. And it's worth watching at least once. And if you hate it, that's fine. People are allowed to suck. But this movie's absolutely incredible. I thoroughly enjoy it on my weird scale of 1 to 10, 1 being complete and utter fucking garbage that's a waste of your time and money, and I wouldn't even suggest giving it one watch, to 10 being, just put it on repeat and let the movie soak into your brain because it's that good. The 1980s Maniac is easily like a 8-7. 8-7 at least. At least. I know some people probably give it higher, but mine sits at about an 8-7. It sets a lot of the tone for what I think our contemporary slasher movies should be doing more of. And I really think it has something that a lot of slasher movies now don't have, which is, the fortitude to just absolutely go there. Because a lot of slashers now don't. The Scream series, they're okay. I Know What You Did Last Summer's okay, but there's just something about Maniac. Maniac is absolute 1980s slasher peak. It's peak 80s slasher, and if you haven't seen it, check it out today, October 1st. That's my recommendation. If you hate it, okay. If you love it, even better. I'll be back tomorrow with another suggestion. Hope y'all have a wonderful day and a wonderful Halloween. Bye.
I'm so hungry. I never knew anyone could be so hungry. Do you mind handing me a piece of that possum over there? Just a little bit.
What's going on, everybody? It's Chris, aka Old Dirty Cupcake, and we are here with our October 2nd Halloween horror movie recommendation. And if you couldn't tell by the opening, this pick is going to be from 2006, and it's James Gunn's Slither. This movie is a wild ride of gross, disgusting body horror. It's got a good mixture of CG. It's got a good mixture of practical effects, humor, gore, actual horror. And then there's moments where you just find yourself laughing hysterically. This movie has a peak James Gunn cast with Nathan Fillion, Elizabeth Banks, Michael Rooker, and several others. The main people you're watching in this are those that I mentioned, specifically Michael Rooker. Without spoiling the entire movie, if you haven't seen it, a meteor crashes in South Carolina, which is ironically where I'm from. And Michael Rooker's character stumbles upon this thing, and just all hell breaks loose because guess what? Inside that fucking meteor, there is a sentient fucking parasite that wants to be friends. It's great. It's such a great little parasite. It wants to be everybody's little buddy. So much so that it has destroyed planets and civilizations on other planets and different species on other planets. So that's pretty cool, right? Well, you get into this movie and you realize that this thing is not friendly. This thing is not your buddy. It's extremely grotesque. Michael Rooker's character goes through this transformation that is second to none as far as practical effects being applied on an actor. And he sells his performance as usual. And it's absolutely fantastic. Love this movie. Love the humor. Love that it takes you on a journey of laughing hysterically to just damn near vomiting with some of the shit that's in it. These little worms go around and try to crawl up inside everybody and get all up in them so they can turn them into a hive mind. And it's a fun ride of a movie. And I think it's a good way to step into the second day of October and realize we're not just going to be doing gore fests. We're not just going to be doing movies that leave you with this empty feeling inside of you afterwards, kind of like Speak No Evil or Nothing Bad Ever Happens. Those movies they just leave you empty feeling inside. This movie, you're going to laugh and you're going to have a good time and you're probably going to watch it again. It's just that enjoyable. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And if you have, watch this sumbitch again and have a good time. Get some popcorn, throw some M&Ms in that motherfucker, and just enjoy. James Gunn is shining in this with his directorial prowess. And Michael Rooker, again, just a treat to watch in this movie. And Nathan Fillion and Elizabeth Banks also carry this entire movie, and it's such an enjoyable ride. Can't recommend it enough. On my stupid scale of 1 to 10, of 1 being shit and 10 being The Exorcist, this is an 8.5. It is what it is. This movie's great. Hope you all enjoy it. Go out, check it out. And I hope you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful Halloween and a wonderful October. Bye. What's going on, everybody? It's Chris, aka Old Dirty Cupcake. We're going to be talking about some more horror movies today because it's October, and I'm doing my October Halloween horror movie suggestions, recommendations, movies that I think you might want to watch if you haven't seen them already. You should definitely check them out. For October 3rd, my recommendation is Poltergeist from 1982. Starring Craig T. Nelson, Jo Beth Williams, Zelda Rubinstein, Dominique Dunn, Oliver Robbins, and Heather O'Rourke, the late Heather O'Rourke, as Carol Ann Freeling, the little girl. She passed away, unfortunately, during the filming of the third one. But this movie, this of the trilogy, is the best one. And it really stuck with me the longest throughout my life. It was directed by Tobe Hooper of Chainsaw Massacre notoriety. And of course, the story, Steven Spielberg. It was written by Spielberg and Michael Grays and Mark Victor. It was loosely based on some true events or based on actual events, but they exaggerated them for the film, obviously. It was kind of what the whole shtick is when they do these. It's based on true story. All right, sure. But it's probably not going to be as awesome as you think. But they boosted it, made the movie absolutely incredible. The face peeling scene, when Carol lands in front of the TV and she's just bugging out and touches it, and you see the hands on the other side. Craig T. Nelson and Jo Beth Williams' chemistry, even though they're not married, their chemistry on set was phenomenal. And Heather O'Rourke as Carol Ann, what a young force as an actress. My favorite element of the Poltergeist movie is definitely Zelda Rubinstein as Tangina Barons, the little psychic lady. And she's absolutely incredible. If you've seen her in anything, she is awesome. She chews up scenery, and she's such a good character actress. And she's awesome. May she rest in peace. Craig T. Nelson's incredible. And again, just an absolute gem of a 80s horror movie. It's a classic for a reason. The remake wasn't great. The sequel was okay. And the third one, you know, all the tragedy that surrounded it. And of this movie, four of the cast died. And it's rumored to have a curse around it. You can probably go find that information on YouTube or Wikipedia or whatever. Google search it. There's lots of lore around the Poltergeist. It's a good movie. It's a good watch. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. Just brace yourself for some really cool elements of an 80s horror movie. And Poltergeist, of course, in German means farting ghost. And man, these spirits are definitely pretty scary for the time period that they were being portrayed. And that's my suggestion for October 3rd. This is a short one. If you haven't seen Poltergeist, check it out. It's good shit. I think you'll like it. And on my scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shit, 10 being The Exorcist as horror movies go, I'd put this one again up at like an 8.6. This is a good movie. This is a good watch. This is a very enjoyable film. And you're doing yourself a disservice if you haven't seen it. Hope y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. Bye. All right, everybody, come on in, Papa Squat. We're getting on to our 4th for October 4th, our October Halloween horror movie recommendations. For the 4th, I want y'all to check out a movie from 1982, again, called Basket Case, directed and written by Frank Henenlotter. It's his first movie, and it's absolutely ridiculous. This movie, it's another one of those schlocky, low-budget, guerrilla-filmed, charming 80s horrors. It just does something for me. I think it was made with like $35,000 or something like that. They had to film when and where they could yet again. And it's just such a ridiculous movie. And it's so over the top. And when it debuted, I think they wanted to cut a good bit of it out. But thanks to the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Joe Bob Briggs, I think they ended up airing it for the first time uncut in Texas. And it went on to like sell out a bunch, and it just became this hit. And it starred Kevin Von Henenrick as Dwayne Bradley, and he just carries around this little basket with him, and people are always curious, what's in the basket? Huh? What's in the basket? What's in the basket? You got all the people asking throughout the entire fucking movie, and spoilers, it's his deformed, mutated little twin brother named Belial. He's a little demon. And he just... Think about all your repressed urges. And that's just what this little demon critter manifests. Oh, he's ridiculous. He's ugly. Fucking loves hot dogs, and he's a bit sexually aggressive. I'd say he's got some problems. He's been living in a basket. And yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, it's one of those where you know what? Indulge in some edibles, turn your brain off, kick back, and just let this movie take you for a ride, okay? Get you some popcorn and some pizza, turn your brain off, toke up, and trip out. Because this movie it's something else. All right? Basket Case. All right? Check it out. Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. Bye. All right, everybody, come on in and pop a squat. It's Chris, aka Old Dirty Cupcake, and we're going to be getting into our October Halloween horror movie recommendations. And it's October 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. And I'm going to be suggesting today a 1995 movie by Stuart Gordon. Yeah, Stuart Gordon. Yep, one of my favorites. You'll see by the end of this list. Castle Freak. Yeah. Based on H.P. Lovecraft's The Outsider. It stars Jeffrey Combs, obviously. Barbara Crampton, again, obviously. And Barbara Crampton, huge crush. Oh, swing. And it's got Jessica Dollarhide as their blind daughter, Rebecca. And there's another character throughout this movie. We know he's there. The family doesn't. So Jeffrey Combs' character, John Riley, inherits an Italian castle from a relative. And they go there to try to get away from all the troubles in life and just try to reset because he's trying to get over his addiction. It's a beautiful thing when people do that. And his daughter... Sorry, my dog. Anyway, his daughter, Rebecca, starts getting a visitor in her room. And from then on, some really wild things begin to unfold, and another character gets revealed. And I really don't want to spoil much in any of these, especially if you haven't seen the movie. Let's just say a gentleman named Jonathan Fuller plays a character in this film. It was put out by Full Moon. And, man, what can I say? This movie, with any Stuart Gordon movie, your eyes are going to be on Jeffrey Combs. Constantly. Your eyes are going to be on Jeffrey Combs. Just what it's going to be. Whether it be in From Beyond, Reanimator, Beyond Reanimator, Castle Freak that I'm suggesting today. Jeffrey Combs is just one of those actors that even whenever he was in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, awesome performer, absolutely one of my favorites. Barbara Crampton, again, so many films that she's been in, love her, and Stuart Gordon just had a way of taking a lot of these H.P. Lovecraft stories and just making them awesome to watch. They're a lot of fun. There's a lot of campy shit in it. There's a lot of gore. There's a lot of grotesque stuff. There's a lot of stuff that would probably make a lot of people now clutch their fucking pearls and just, oh, I'm so offended. Just enjoy the movie for what it is. It's 1995 upgraded 80s schlock from Stuart Gordon, and I love it. And if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out today. Put it on your list of movies that you need to see. 1995's Castle Freak. Yeah. Check it out, and we'll be back again tomorrow with another Halloween horror movie suggestion, all right? Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. Bye. Also, stick around after the video for a song that I wrote for my little side project that I like to do called Depraved Flesh. It's a little death metal project. If you like it, check out the Bandcamp link in the description here. And the song's called Dead and Gaped, and it's inspired by this movie. Hope y'all dig it, and y'all have a wonderful day. Bye. All right, quit jerking your gherkins and double clicking your mice. It sounds like a bunch of macaroni being stirred out there. Yeah, it's day 6 of our October Halloween horror movie recommendations. And you can tell it's The Fly. David Cronenberg's The Fly. Came out in 1986, and it's based on it's a remake of The Fly from 1958, and that's based on a short story from 1957. And this movie stars Jeff Goldblum, Gina Davis, and John Getz. It's a cultural icon of a movie to me as far as horror, body horror, Cronenberg horror, which is how the whole genre got its name. And this movie really shines in multiple ways. It came out to good reviews. It is still a movie that a lot of people watch today for inspiration for practical effects. It inspired me to write a song about it called Plasma Birth. And if you haven't seen this movie, I highly suggest checking it out and enjoy the show of a young Jeff Goldblum. It's a spectacle to behold. He is Seth Brundle, and he's a scientist, and he's trying to figure out transportation, teleportation, and he builds this device, and he transports himself to this other device, which is, and a fly gets in, and his genetics get crossed with the fly, and he just gradually starts becoming more insect-like. And the body horror is one thing, the performance and just overall gore in this movie is incredible. It's second to none. I love this movie. This movie has always been a favorite of mine, even whenever I saw it at a very young age. I think I saw it in probably like 94, 95. And it has stuck with me ever since. It's a movie that I watch multiple times throughout the year, just for inspiration while I'm sitting around playing guitar. And it's such a treat to watch. You can put it on and just leave it on in the background and just enjoy it. It's great. On my weird scale of 1 to 10, this movie's a 9.3. Go check it out. If you like it, awesome. If not, you've just got bad taste. That's all there is to it. Other than that, I'm just fucking with you. Y'all have a wonderful day. Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. Bye. Also, stick around for the end of this video, after the end of this video, for another song for my little project, Depraved Flesh. The song was inspired by this movie, and it's called Plasma Birth. Just take a deep dive. Take that deep dive into that plasma pool. See what happens. Y'all have a wonderful Halloween and a wonderful October. Bye.
You're afraid to dive into the plasma pool, aren't you? You're afraid to be destroyed, recreated, aren't you? How about you think that you woke me up about the flesh, don't you? But you only know society's straight line about the flesh. You can't penetrate beyond society's sick, grave fear of the flesh. Drink deep or taste not the plasma spring. See what I'm saying? No, I'm just talking about sex and penetration. I'm talking about penetration beyond the veil of the flesh. A deep, penetrating dive into the plasma pool.
Mr. Nice Guy. All right, everybody, come on in, Papa Squat. We're getting into October 7th in the October Halloween horror movie recommendations. Here comes Daisy being nosy. And today's recommendation will be John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness from 1987, starring Donald Pleasance and Victor Wong. A research team in this movie comes together to study a big old vat of radioactive devil jizz, and it looks like splooge and surge soda combined, and it's underneath this old dilapidated church, and it was discovered by an old Catholic order. So what this thing is essentially is liquid evil. And what they're trying to do is understand this liquid evil from a perspective of antimatter and matter. God, devil. God, anti-God. And there are a lot of really big concepts in this movie that are presented. And for a Carpenter movie, man, it's a real slow burn. It's a slow burn, but it gets you there. And it takes a lot of dark turns, presents you with a lot of philosophical questions about life. And Alice Cooper. Yeah, Alice Cooper gets to impale a guy, and it's fucking sick. But this movie is part of John Carpenter's Apocalypse trilogy. And those movies in that trilogy are this film, The Thing, and In the Mouth of Madness. This movie, I didn't see it until I was in my 20s, I think. And I really couldn't understand why it didn't have such a big following. But I guess then again, man, John Carpenter, what a story of somebody whose movies come out and don't do well, and he gets really discouraged, and then his cult following comes along and then just rescues and makes him one of the biggest horror movie directors ever, if not the biggest horror movie director ever. And if you haven't seen this movie, it's definitely worth watching. There's a lot of cool practical effects, and there's a lot of cool, like I said, there's a lot of cool concepts in this movie that really put you in a philosophical hot seat with a lot of things. And the performances are fantastic. Especially Donald Pleasance. You love to watch him chew up scenery. So yeah, October 7th, today I want you to get out there and check out Prince of Darkness by John Carpenter. Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. Bye.
I had the most awful dream.
Lane, where do you keep the bourbon?
I'll be right down.
Chris, I've got a guest.
Please, Mom, I just don't want to be alone.
I said, where's the fucking bourbon?
We're the Dream Warriors. All right, come on in. Have a little sit down, pull up a chair, pop squat. It's October 8th, and we're getting into our 8th October Halloween horror movie recommendations. And today, we're going to be watching A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. All right, yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street. This is my favorite of the series, honestly. I can't lie to you. It's my favorite of the series. I love Part 1, love 2, love 3, love 4, love 5. The only thing I don't like in Nightmare on Elm Street, it's not my favorite, is the 2010 Jackie Earle Haley film. Not as good as I had hoped it would be, but I did enjoy Jackie Earle Haley's performance as Freddy Krueger. He did his own thing. The rest of the movie, however, kind of rough. Kind of rough. However, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 came out in 1987. Directed and written because the last one, Part 2, wasn't. This one was directed and written by Wes Craven. And we've got Robert Englund, always returns as Freddy Krueger. We've got Patricia Arquette as Kristen. Lawrence Fishburne's in this movie. Rodney Eastman. Jennifer Rubin is in this movie. A young little baby Jennifer Rubin. Craig Wasson. We got Ira Hayden. John Saxon returns. We've got Brooke Bundy. We've got Penelope Sudrow. And then of all the characters in this movie, my favorite, portrayed by Mr. Ken Sagoes, Roland Kincaid. Roland Kincaid is the coolest fucking character in Nightmare on Elm Street series ever. He's awesome. He lives through this movie. Did him dirty in 4, but he lives through this fucking movie, and it's awesome. He's great. He makes you love his character. And returning as Nancy, Heather Langenkamp, who was missed in the second one, but I think the second one, Freddy's Revenge, it stands on its own merits. It's a good film. Really enjoyed it. So this movie picks up on Patricia Arquette's character as she's struggling with her own dream issues, that she's having nightmares, and she gets institutionalized to get some help, and she's put into therapy with some other some are in rehab, but there's all these young people that she's with, played by all these young characters, these young actors, and they're all trying to work on sorting out their issues and, you know, just being in therapy and getting things together with their life and finding out how to, you know, do better and just make themselves be happier in life. But they find out there's a common thread between all of them. All of them are having very similar nightmares about a certain man. Yeah. And it's Freddy Krueger. But luckily they have Nancy, played by Heather Langenkamp, to help them in their therapy sessions and to help them fight Freddy, if you will. Yeah. This movie is where it really picks up with a lot of the camp and a lot of the lore with Freddy Krueger and what you can do, how you pull him out, how can you go into the dream world, can you do all of these things. And some of the coolest kills are in this film. Prime time, bitch. That's great. My favorite, personally, is the marionette. When Freddy's marionetting the kid and takes him to the roof. This movie's great. On my scale of 1 to 10, A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors gets an 8.5. It's one of my favorites. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned, and it's going to boost the score. This movie has one of the coolest 80s metal songs by Dokken, and it has the same title as the movie. It's called Dream Warriors, and you need to check out that song. Roll your windows down and crank that shit and bang your head, because the Dream Warriors is fucking cool as shit. Y'all go watch this movie. Y'all tune in tomorrow, because I'm going to have another recommendation. Y'all get out there and have a good October and a wonderful Halloween. Bye.
Jason will come to you.
And if you're lucky, Jason will come on you. What's going on, everybody? Hope y'all are doing well. It's October 9th, which means we are doing our October Halloween horror movie recommendations. And this is our 9th movie. And today's movie, of course, is Friday the 13th, Part 3. Came out in 1982. It's directed by Steve Miner and produced by Frank Mancuso Jr. In this movie, we've got Dana Kimmel. Oh, so hot. Paul Kratka. And this is the first time we get Jason as we get to know him in the later movies. This is our first big brute killer, aside from the hillbilly-looking version in Part 2. This is where he gets the hockey mask, and Richard Brooker brings such a menacing presence to his role. And he's next to Kane Hodder. This is where we get our frame of mind for what Jason is and who he is. So, of course, this movie takes place at Crystal Lake. We've got a bunch of characters in this movie that are disposable as always. And that's kind of the whole purpose of characters in a Friday the 13th movie. I like a little bit of development, which is fine, but I'm just here to see teenagers getting killed for drinking and smoking the devil's lettuce at a campsite. And they're ignoring fucking kids, and they're letting them die or drown. So Jason is vengeance upon these degenerate teenagers. I don't hate teenagers. Now, in this movie, a character really stands out to me, and he's kind of obnoxious, and dear God.
Look, Shelly, you're my roommate, and I like you. Most of the time. But you gotta quit doing those things. Now, I got you a date, didn't I? Didn't I?
Yeah.
So don't embarrass me. Just relax. Be yourself.
Would you be yourself if you look like this?
You're a big, fat, curly-headed fuck.
What can really be said but Larry Zerner as Shelley? Jesus. What an obnoxious, lovable little character he played. Shelley aggravated the piss out of me. He was annoying. He was whiny. And they did him a disservice with just a little throat slash. Rest in peace, Shelley. Damn. But Larry Zerner, what a great little role he played. I love this movie. Like I said, it's the first time we get Jason as we start to see him in the later films. It stands out. It's really significant in that sense. The kills are really fucking cool because they were all filmed specifically to cater to the 3D effect. And this is back whenever you had to wear the little glasses. And if you want to watch it like that, you can. But I warn you, if you're watching on like Blu-ray or anything above like a 1999 flat screen, you're going to see the wires for all the effects. So just separate your mind from that and just enjoy it. This movie, while not as dark as the first two, it has its moments of like grotesqueness, obviously, but it's also kind of lighthearted and they start having fun, much like with Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. It's where we kind of start to get a feel for who this slasher is. And Jason Voorhees is my favorite horror movie slasher, personally, of the monsters. We're not talking about Joe Spinell here. I love him. But this is like an unreal monster, like Freddy. Jason is a deadite, according to some folks. I believe it. I think he is personally. And Michael Myers is just this is the Shape. People forget that he was the Shape in the first movie. He was just evil incarnate in that form. So when you go into this movie, go in and just have fun. Manfredini does the soundtrack, so you get your and your you get all that good shit, and you just have fun. You just have fun with this movie. Enjoy Richard Brooker as Jason Voorhees. He kills it, pun intended. This movie, 8.8 out of 10. Keep an eye out for Shelley. Don't let him make your blood pressure spike too high. Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. Bye.
What do you want?
Candyman, let me get a pound of your sweetest Chiba. Yeah, everybody, what's up? It's Chris, the Old Dirty Cupcake. It's October 10th. And that means it's our 10th movie. And the 10th movie is gonna be in the October Halloween horror movie recommendations. It's gonna be Hatchet, directed and based off of characters by Mr. Adam Green. This movie came out in 2006, and it very well could have been something that came out in the 80s. That's just how well they hit the right notes, and I love this movie. I'm going to go ahead and get the rating out of the way and have fun talking about this for the next couple minutes. This movie's a 9.1. No doubt. Good shit. Good times. Unwind and just let the schlock hit you in the face with buckets of blood, buckets of gore, over-the-top kills by Mr. Kane Hodder, who played one of the most iconic versions of Jason Voorhees. Next to Richard Brooker, Kane Hodder he's it. He's slow, menacing, but in this, as Victor Crowley, he's a completely different fucking beast, and it's incredible to watch. The prosthetics are incredible on him. He looks monstrous. You've got Joel David Moore, JP from Grandma's Boy, delusional. He's in this. You got Dion Richmond, Tamara Feldman. You've got cameos from Robert Englund, and also the late great, probably one of the most amazing voices I've ever heard in my life, Mr. Tony Todd. What an intellectual and insightful human being that man was to listen to and to watch him perform. If you haven't seen the original Candyman, that's one you should check out too. This movie, we got Joel Moore and we got Dion Richmond going down to Mardi Gras. They're looking to have a good time. They're looking to smoke a little weed, give out some beads, rub on some big wiggly taters, and just unwind and party the fuck up, because that's what you do in Mardi Gras. So they find this little voodoo shop, and it's run by Mr. Tony Todd. They also meet a character played by Perry Shin named Sean, and he offers tours of the bayou through the swamp, haunted tours, and tells stories and stuff. His character's pretty funny through the whole movie. I love that he switches accents, and he's just a fucking... He's funny. You'll have a good time with this one. But you're watching Victor Crowley in this. You're watching Kane Hodder perform and have an absolute blast. Not only taking on more serious aspects of the Father Thomas, caring for and raising his deformed son, but the weight that he feels in the accident, and then he plays Victor Crowley, and then he gets to do what he does best, which is to rip stupid people apart and play with their insides and play with their body parts. It's good shit. It's such good shit. I love this movie. This movie is one of those, like I said, you just turn it on, pop a couple edibles, eat you some pizza, and just have a good time. It's a nice schlocky reminder of what the 80s were, and you just have to love the amount of practical effects and gore in this movie. Yeah, when they go on this tour, they learn the myth and the legends and the story around Victor Crowley. Victor Crowley is a vile, malicious ghost of the little boy that was tragically killed by his father on accident, and then they both burned in the house. Well, you come to find out that Victor is very much roaming the swamps, and he hates every fucking body that comes out there. No doubt about it. Even the gators are scared of that motherfucker. He's mean as fuck. So yeah, that's where we're going to end this today, October 10th. It's Hatchet. Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. I'll be back tomorrow with another one. Bye.
Let me show you something.
Oh no! Oh no!
All right. Everybody come on in. Have a seat, pull up a chair, pop a squat. We're getting into October 11th for the October Halloween horror movie recommendations. I'm the Old Dirty Cupcake, and today's movie suggestion is Speak No Evil. Came out in 2022. It was a Shudder original, directed by Christian Tafdrup. Most of the movie's in English, vast majority of it, but some of it's in Danish and Dutch. This movie, I'm not going to give anything away about it if you haven't seen it. It's got a remake that came out last year. That movie's all right, but this movie, the original, is a much more visceral watching experience, and it's so much more brutal. And this movie is a lesson. It's a lesson in being too kind for your own good, too soft-spoken for your own good, not knowing when to stand up for yourself when you feel uncomfortable, especially in the situations that are presented in this movie. This movie stars, I'm going to butcher some of these names. I'm sorry. I'm a southern shitbag. Morton Burien, Sidsel C.M. Koch, Fedja Van Hewitt, and Karina Smulders. These two couples meet, and one couple invites the other couple to come hang out with them for a weekend. The weekend is filled with situations that will make any rational human being watching this movie infuriated with the response these people have. It's, like I said, this movie is kind of a lesson in being too naive and too kind for your own good. This movie goes in a horrible direction. I was left with just a mildly nauseous feeling after watching this movie. You feel empty. You're going to want to watch something very fun and very happy after this, so maybe put on... Actually, after this, this is a twofer. After watching Speak No Evil, you need to watch something to lift your spirits, and I'm going to suggest Ernest Scared Stupid. There you go. All right? Please watch Ernest Scared Stupid to make yourself feel better after watching this movie. All right? Speak No Evil from 2022. I'm giving nothing away. This movie is an experience that you need to see for yourself. Absorb it. Take heed to the lessons that are in it. And just try to get through this movie without losing your shit. It's maddening what these people go through. But as heavy as a movie as this is, like I said, it's a movie. Wash it down with Ernest Scared Stupid. Have a blast. And y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. Bye.
What are you doing down there, Daddy?
Come downstairs. I want to see my #1 birthday boy.
You're gonna die, clown!
All right, everybody, come on in, have a seat, and let's get into this. It's October 12th, and you know what that means. It's the 12th movie in the October Halloween horror movie recommendations. I'm the Old Dirty Cupcake, and let's get straight into it. Today, I'm recommending, from 2016, the movie Clown. Now, initially, this movie came out in 2014, but it didn't get released in the United States till 2016. And even further back, it started out as a trailer, a fake trailer, produced and directed by John Watts. And you've heard that name because he directed the most recent Spider-Man movies for Disney and Sony. John Watts listed Eli Roth in the credits for this movie. Eli Roth had nothing to do with it, but saw it, loved the premise so much that he decided, I'm going to back that and we're going to make a feature-length film. So this movie is John Watts' directorial debut. And producing this, we've got, first off, Eli Roth, we've got Cody Ryder, then we've got Matt Cappuccino. Written, of course, by Watts and Christopher Ford. In this movie, we have a cast of Andy Powers, Laura Allen. Eli Roth is in here as the clown. And Peter Stormare, who, as always, chews up, devours, and annihilates every scene he's in. Peter Stormare is the best part of Constantine. Peter Stormare in the John Wick movies is awesome. I love Peter Stormare in damn near anything he is in, even if he shows up for 3 minutes. Peter Stormare steals the show in this movie. But he's not your focus. Your focus is Andy. Andy Powers, who's playing Kent. His wife calls him and lets him know that the clown that they had booked is not going to be able to make it to their son's birthday party. I know, bummer, right? That really sucks. Well, luckily for him, he's a real estate agent, and he finds a clown costume in a old, beat-up chest, like a fucking footstool kind of thing from the 1900s, 1800s. Pulls the costume out, puts it on, entertains his kid for the birthday party. All right, way to go, Dad. Good job. His wife's really happy with him, tells him she's going to go take a shower. He can come back, might get his little dicky sticky or something. And he passes out. Wakes up the next morning with the costume still on. And if that isn't weird enough, the nose won't come off. The wig won't come off. The suit won't come off. So he has to go to his job in this costume. And as he's at his job, he decides, I'm going to take a box cutter to my skin. I'm going to take a power tool to my skin. And nothing gets the suit off. So in a panic, he tries to find out what's going on with this suit. He starts to develop an insatiable hunger for something. Doesn't know what, but he kind of starts to get there. And he comes in contact with Peter Stormare's character, who lets him know the costume, it's not just a costume. There is a malevolent entity, a demon, that possesses or inhabits this costume. And once this costume is on, this demon must be satiated with 5 children. Okay. So that's where this movie takes us. He goes through some transformations. There's a lot of disgusting body horror in this. The effects are fun. The effects are cool. There's one specific scene where he wants to repaint the walls with his brain, and he does a good job because it looks like Fruity Pebbles just got splattered all over the wall, which really makes the clown aspect of this movie even more morbidly hysterical. So if you haven't seen this movie, check it out. It's Clown, produced by Eli Roth and directed by John Watts. Came out in 2016. You're going to enjoy this movie. It's so dark. It goes there with the younglings and stuff that, you know, some people get kind of squeamish about in movies, but it's a movie. Relax. Don't clutch your pearls. Unclench your butthole. Just have fun and enjoy Clown. Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. I'll be back tomorrow with another one, so y'all come on back, all right? Bye.
Now, y'all ain't planning on fucking these chickens, are you?
Don't you want to ride it? Educated horse. Yeah, what's up, everybody? It's the Old Dirty Cupcake, and it's day 13 of the Halloween horror movie recommendations. And for day 13, it's 2005's The Devil's Rejects, directed by Rob Zombie, starring Sherry Moon Zombie and Sherry Moon Zombie, with special guest appearances by Sherry Moon Zombie and Sherry Moon Zombie. And stay tuned for the post-credits for a special scene featuring Sherry Moon Zombie. All right, jokes aside, since he likes to cast his wife in everything, he'd cast her as Frankenstein's monster in a Frankenstein movie. She would be Jaws in a Jaws movie by Rob Zombie. She would just be in the water chewing on people. But yeah, Devil's Rejects. All right, we're picking up with the Firefly group. Sid Haig as Captain Spaulding. We got Bill Moseley. We got Sherry Moon. We got Ken Foray. And the added awesome role of William Forsythe as Sheriff John Quincy Wydell. Forsythe is just unbelievably grizzled in this movie. I love this movie. House of a Thousand Corpses had its awesome moments, had its cool feel, but this is where we kind of get Rob Zombie as Rob Zombie. And this is Rob Zombie's best Rob Zombie movie, with him being Rob Zombie directing a Rob Zombie movie. Halloween's, 31, ridiculous. Lords of Salem, fucking ridiculous, but I enjoyed that one too. But man, there's something special about The Devil's Rejects. Rob Zombie really captured what he was trying to do and who he's trying to be as a director, I think, with this movie. And we pick up with the Firefly group after the events of House of a Thousand Corpses, and it's just an absolute black or dark comedy of murder, crazy people, psychopaths, and then just meeting other fucking psychopaths that are in this family or connected to this family of lunatics. And to say this movie wasn't a cult classic the moment it came out would be crazy. Rob Zombie movies are for people that like Rob Zombie movies and just about nobody else. Because if you either love Rob Zombie movies or you hate them, and I feel like I love him just because he's doing what he wants to do. I think he's a strange dude, and there's some movies that I would have rather him not done, like Halloween, and just let him continue to do his thing. This is where he really shines. This is where Sid Haig really shines. This is where Bill Moseley really gets to get away from Chop Top, and he gets to embody this new character of Otis, and he gets to kind of flesh it out a little bit more and be more of just the crazy brother. He's kind of the leader in this family. And Sherry Moon Zombie also plays a rather convincing role as doing more with baby Firefly this time. But as far as I'm concerned, this is Rob Zombie's peak. This is Rob Zombie being the best Rob Zombie he could be. If you haven't seen this movie, and if you're not a fan of Rob Zombie movies, this is the movie to watch to hopefully kind of steer you in the direction of like, it's not that bad. He does some good shit. And he does. He really does. I think it's a preferred kind of taste. It's an acquired taste of his movies. But if you've seen some of the dumb schlock that I've seen, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. And this movie is proof of that. So take today, October 13th, and serve yourself a nice hot dish of The Devil's Rejects, all right? Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. I'll see y'all tomorrow with another one. Bye. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what we're doing. It's the Old Dirty Cupcake. And it's October 14th. And that means we are on our 14th movie for my Halloween horror movie recommendations. And today, I'm recommending 2018's Mandy, directed by Panos Cosmatos. And he's one of those out there directors. And this is going to be a short video. This movie is a very unique experience in watching a movie. It's ethereal in ways. It's surrealistic horror. It's an action movie. It's drama. It's suspense. It's gore. It's grindhouse. It's got it all. It's really, really good. I was blown away when I watched this. This movie feels like nothing I've ever seen. And, of course, who brings this movie to life is Nicolas Cage as Red Miller. He's a lumberjack and he's trying to find a way to exact vengeance against this fucking cult leader dude played by Linus Roach. And dude's a fucking roach. He's a fucking prick. Because Roach and his cult of devout followers and little acolytes and everybody, and his little cult of sadist bondage Cinnabites on motorcycle. They're Cinnabikes. Like Cinnabikes, like motorcycles. They're fucking wild. His wife, played by Andrea Riseborough, she's almost Shelley Duvall-like in a lot of ways, and she doesn't say much in the entire movie, nor does Nicolas Cage. Most of the dialogue comes from characters played by Richard Brake, Bill Duke, and of course Roach himself as the cult leader, who just type of guy that just like, he puts a mask on and runs the hose right into his asshole so he can smell his own farts all day. This movie is an experience. Nicolas Cage is in rare form in this movie. I love Nicolas Cage, but this is one of my favorite performances of his in a horror movie. And tomorrow's movie is also a Nicolas Cage movie, so stay tuned for that one. But this movie, Mandy, if you haven't seen this is a movie that you definitely get you some nice bud, get you some psilocybin, just drop out and watch this fucking movie. It's wild. It is quite the experience. Like I said, I'm keeping this one short. October 14th, our 14th Halloween horror movie recommendation. It's Mandy from 2018. Check this movie out. I give it a 9.5. Yeah. Watch this movie. If you hate it, whatever, but you're gonna like this movie. Just enjoy Nicolas Cage, dialing up the cage to like 11. You know what I mean? Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. Bye.
You fucking cocksucker! You cocksucker! You cocksucker!
All right. It's Old Dirty Cupcake. Y'all come in, pop, squat, pull up, yeah. We're getting into the October Halloween horror movie recommendations. And it's October 15th. And today's recommendation is going to be from 2019, Color Out of Space. That's right. We're doing another Nicolas Cage rager, all right? This movie was directed by Richard Stanley. And it's been a while since I've watched a Richard Stanley movie. I think the last one I saw was Island of Dr. Moreau, and I don't even think he finished that movie. Still a good movie. Wild. Probably not what it was supposed to be, but still a wild movie. Worth a watch. But this movie, Color Out of Space, stars Nicolas Cage. And it's another movie where you just give Nicolas Cage the script, the story premise. You give him what he's supposed to be looking at, and you just let him cage. Right? You let him cage. And in this movie, he certainly cages. Not to the most cage degree that I've seen him cage, but he does it really well. He draws from a lot of characters that he's already played. And you can tell that he's just really doing his best to understand what it's like to be a farmer that has moved out to this lifestyle with his wife, who's had a mastectomy, and he's got 3 kids, and he has started an alpaca farm. Yeah, Nicolas Cage is an alpaca farmer. And he's doing his best to handle and keep his family comfortable and feel safe when a meteor hits and it emits and radiates this haunting, beautiful, mesmerizing color and these lights that are shifting between purples and magentas and pinks and hot pink and purple, and it just shimmers, and it's really beautiful. But this color isn't just light, It's not just radiation. It itself is a cosmic entity. It's an ancient cosmic being, and this is how we would perceive this color because our brains can't really process what it looks like. So this is what it would look like as best to how the movie wants to portray this entity. This entity slowly starts to spread throughout this town and starts to affect both flora and fauna in the area, and it mutates them on like a genetic level to look like these alien forms, like these cosmic abominations and these like Cronenberg. Not trying to spoil the movie, but something happens with some alpacas, and it's the most vile looking kind of thing, and it's fucking insane. This movie really kicks you in the nuts and punts you in the C word. It really does. This movie hits hard when the color comes into contact with Jolie Richardson and the sun, and they're both just, again, like the alpacas, just fused, and it's horrifying. That's one scene in this movie that I think, and how they portray that afterwards, and how Nicolas Cage and his family handles this mutated, this Cronenberg mother and son. It's so crazy looking. And as things go on, it starts to infect his mind, and it starts to infect the daughter. It really begins to take hold, and you have to watch this movie just to see what happens, and to understand that this is more than just a color. This is more than just light. This is something that is spreading not only to infect, it is a cosmic entity that is trying to seize control of the world and anything that it comes in contact with. And how it's portrayed in this is this beautiful, mesmerizing color that just shifts between pinks and purples. It's haunting. And you would think that something like that wouldn't be so horrific because it's so beautiful. But it does so much damage, and in its wake, so much more damage is left because there is a breaking point that this thing reaches. And you've got to watch the movie. Tommy Chong's in it. He plays, like, of course, a cool fucking hippie kind of guy. Like a conspiracy kind of guy, you know, whatever. He's great. Jolie Richardson is fantastic. But man, Nicolas Cage really shines in this. And I think if you haven't seen this, you gotta step in. You gotta step through the color, step through the shimmer. That's something else it reminded me of. Annihilation with Natalie Portman. This movie really, this is like it's a Nicolas Cage-ified Annihilation. That color, that shimmer was spreading and affecting things biologically and genetically. Well, so is the color that's radiating from this meteor. This is a really cool, trippy movie. It's not the best H.P. Lovecraft adaptation. It's a fun one, though. I give it like an 8.4. Yeah, it's an 8.4, I'd say. Yeah, there comes Daisy. She hears me talking about Nicolas Cage. She's like, what? So, yeah, y'all check out Color Out of Space. That's a good one. I think that's a fun one. And yeah, it's another Nicolas Cage banger. You can't go wrong with Nicolas Cage. Stay tuned after this video for a video of a song that my main band, Crypt Dweller, put out called Stoned in Norway. I know the title really doesn't have anything to do with the movie, but the riffs and the song and the lyric ideas of a mesmerizing color kind of destroying the planet and destroying anything that it comes in contact with. Yeah, that's what that song's about. It's pretty cool. Check it out. If you like it, check out the link down below. Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. Bye.
Dude, I think I just filled the cup.
All right, what's going on, everybody? It's the old Dirty Cupcake, and we're getting into day 16. Over halfway there. Living on a prayer. Yeah. Day 16. It's October 16th, and today's October Halloween horror movie recommendation is another Stuart Gordon movie. This one is From Beyond, ladies and gentlemen. From Beyond came out in 1986. It's an adaptation of an H.P. Lovecraft short story. It was written by Dennis Paoli, Stuart Gordon, and Brian Yuzna, who all worked together on pretty much all the Stuart Gordon movies. And then from Stuart Gordon, we have the typical casting of Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton, Ken Foree, and in this one we've got Ted Sorrell. In From Beyond, we pick up with two scientists that are trying to activate and stimulate the pineal gland, and they're using this device called the resonator. And what the resonator does, it opens up your pineal gland, and they start perceiving creatures from higher dimensional planes. And the way this is done with the effects at the time is really cool. The practical effects in this movie are some of my favorite. This is probably my favorite Stuart Gordon film, and it's my favorite H.P. Lovecraft adaptation. Stuart Gordon takes these stories and just makes them an absolute blast to watch. Because the creatures in this movie, they look like little eels, little fish, little tentacle critters. And once they pull the scientists into their dimension, Jeffrey Combs is trying to figure out a way to get him out of there and to save him. And it just doesn't work out, and he eventually succumbs to what the creatures do to him as well. This movie takes a lot of cool turns. There's a lot of far out there concepts in this movie. Of course, the higher dimensional beings, the eldritch gods, the entities that exist beyond space and time, the entities that exist that we can't begin to fathom or comprehend how they're going to appear to us is just like we're fucking mere mortals, right? So this movie is going to be your 16th recommendation this month. Tune in, zonk out, zone out, whatever you want to do. Enjoy some edibles, get you some snacks, get you a nice drink, and sit back and enjoy Stuart Gordon's From Beyond. This is one of my favorites. I'm not going to tell you too much about it. I just want you to see and experience this movie yourself. There'll be some more Stuart Gordon in this list. So for October 16th, get your ass out there and watch From Beyond today, okay? Check it out. Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. See y'all tomorrow with the next one. Bye.
Pablo, it is your destiny.
You stay away! I'll kill you all! I'll burn you fucking down to the ground!
We had different mothers, but the same father.
All right. Y'all come on in, you filthy little fish fucking weirdos. I'm Old Dirty Cupcake, and it's October 17th, and it is time for our October Halloween horror movie recommendations. For the 17th, your horror movie homework is going to be from 2001, Dagon, directed by Stuart Gordon. I told you I was going to have more Stuart Gordon on this list. This is the last one. This was his last H.P. Lovecraft adaptation, and it didn't have Jeffrey Combs, and it didn't have Barbara Crampton. So how did this movie work out? How did this even happen? All right, in Dagon, we've got Ezra Godden playing Paul, and we've got Raquel Maronio playing Barbara. They're on a yacht with their friends, and the yacht wrecks, and Paul and Barbara have to go get help. So they signal to this little seaside rundown town, and nothing happens, so they go to it to try to find help for their friends. Their friends aren't really that relevant to the story. They're cannon fodder, of course. Nobody cares. Don't pay it. You're not worried about them. So Paul and Barbara go to this town. Nobody's there. They can't find anybody. They stumble into a rundown church with all this weird symbology and these weird statues up everywhere. It's very strange. They run into a priest who's also very strange. Also happens to recognize Paul. It's a little weird. So, of course, they do as any, bright, intelligent young couple do in a horror movie. They split up. And that's when all the bad shit happens, obviously. Barbara gets kidnapped by this cult of Dagon. And Paul is just kind of wandering around this town, and he meets this very strange character played by Francisco Rabal, who knows all this lore about the town. He's like a wandering vagabond, a homeless guy who's been hiding from all the fish people in this town. And you find out that it's a town, a city, that is under the curse and spell of the cult of Dagon. Everyone there is a follower of Dagon, a worshiper of Dagon. And Paul has recognized symbols that he's seen around this town, and he meets a young lady. And the young lady that he recognizes and sees is from his dream. He sees a mermaid in his dream when he's going to this eye symbol under the water when he's scuba diving. And the young lady, Macarena Gomez, plays Usha Kambaro. She is mesmerizing in this entire movie. She is my favorite part of this film because she carries such a strange but beautiful way about her. Like, if you didn't know she was like lower half Chicken of the Sea, she's hot. She's got this sexy, like, mysterious allure about her. You don't know what it is, but you're kind of spellbound by her. And so is Paul. And he finds out the hard way that she is definitely hot to trot, and that she is part fish, and that doesn't do it for him. He's very weirded out, not into it, and he tries to run away, tries to get away. Well, he gets captured. You find that his buddy from before is skinned alive. He's a skin suit now for somebody. The young lady that was with him, she's knocked up by Dagon, and they're going to use her in a sacrifice. So eventually, Paul is being held captive. He gets put into the situation, and more is revealed that he and Usha Kambaro are siblings. That's right, they have different mothers, but Paul and Usha, Pablo, are both children of Dagon. And as children of Dagon, she wants both of them to... so they can create an offspring, a pure seed of Dagon, to keep this cult going, to keep this cult alive, and to give the cult something more to worship. So they offer up Barbara as a sacrifice. And Paul tries to fight off this cult, loses horribly, and his girlfriend gets devoured by an actual Dagon-like creature. He's traumatized. So I'm not going to spoil the rest of the movie. I've given a lot away thus far. Hopefully I didn't spoil it too much. You gotta watch Dagon. Stuart Gordon, there's just something about his movies and how much fun he has. If you haven't seen it yet, for October 17th, check out Dagon. And check out the song after this video by my solo project, Depraved Flesh, based on any type of cosmic entity or any type of eldritch entity that lives in the bottom of the ocean that has to come up from beneath to enslave or conquer the human race or to ingest us or whatever. Like, imagine a colossal Goliath type of monster, indescribable in our mind's eye, crawling out of the Mariana Trench and just unleashing all hell of tidal waves and catastrophic disasters all over the earth. Well, this song is called Crawling from the Trench, and it's inspired by that very type of event and that very type of story. So yeah, y'all stay tuned for tomorrow when I'm going to have another horror movie. Another movie for y'all to watch. Is it going to be a classic? Is it going to be something new? Is it going to be something contemporary? I don't know. But today was Dagon. And if y'all like this song, check out the link in the bio, and y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. Bye. Oh God, why didn't anybody tell me? All right. Y'all come on in, pull up a chair, pop a squat. I'm Old Dirty Cupcake, and we're getting into day 18 of the October Halloween horror movie recommendations. And for October 18th, my recommendation is Society from 1989, directed by Brian Yuzna. It's his directorial debut, and it's a masterpiece of a body horror film. And you can thank Screaming Mad George for the special effects in this movie. I'm not going to spoil a lot for this video. I want you to watch this movie and take heed to the lessons that are in it, because they ring true to today as they did back then in the 80s. This movie was supposed to be a slasher, but Yuzna kind of did his thing with it and turned it into a very dark humor, horror, social commentary of wealth disparity and wealth inequality and the caste system and class system, and how the wealthy and the upper class have always kind of fed on, literally, the middle and lower class, or the brokies, I guess you'd call us, all us little bottom feeders out here who don't make millions of dollars all the fucking time, and we don't sniff our own farts. But this movie, like I said, directed by Brian Yuzna. It stars Billy Warlock. Cool fucking name, right? He plays Bill. Well, Bill lives with his parents and his sister in a mansion in Beverly Hills. You know, they're definitely the upper class, wealthy type of Habsburg jaw type of people, where they frown on anybody that works for them. You know, they don't even see them as equals. These are very shitty people. And he starts to suspect something about them, and he doesn't trust them. There are several other characters in this movie, one of which is played by Tim Bartel, and he is his sister's ex-boyfriend. His sister is played by Patrice Jennings. And David presents him with evidence of something very strange going on. And he pursues this, and again, I'm not trying to spoil anything. I want you to watch this movie and take it in on your own. He pursues this, and it leads him into a weird, twisted underworld of just vile, disgusting depravity of the upper class, and they all look at anybody that is not in their same bloodline, their same race, their same class, as feed. They're cattle. That's all we are to them. And it takes place, and it culminates in this horrific, vile scene that's infamous now, called the shunting. And the shunting, it's so gross. It's a ditty party on Epstein Island. It's fucking nasty. All the demons are there. All the depraved, debaucherous types of elites are there. And all they want to do is just get down in the most vile ways. And body horror is how it takes place and culminates. And like I said at the beginning, Screamin' Mad George really kills it in this movie. Oh my God. There are a couple other people that really help this movie move forward. Devin DeVasquez is in this. She's lovely. She plays Clarissa Carlin. And Evan Richards is in this. And Ben Meyerson as Billy's buddy, Ted Ferguson. But all these people really aren't his friends. All these people are just vile, disgusting monsters. And this whole movie is just something else. If you haven't seen it, I hope you enjoy this. I hope you take something from it. It's 2025, and this movie should definitely strike a chord with a lot of people. It's 1989's Society. That's day 18. Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. I'll see y'all tomorrow with the next one. Bye.
Put your hand on it.
What I do is I just try to take my hat and I turn it around, and it's like a switch that goes on. And when the switch goes on, I feel like another person. I feel like a truck, like a machine.
All right, everybody, come on in. Pop a chair, pop a squat. I'm Old Dirty Cupcake. And it's October 19th, which means we are getting into our 19th movie for my October Halloween horror movie recommendations. These are my recommendations. Take it with a grain of salt. I am just a dirty white boy from the South, so take my suggestions as you will. I like to think I have decent taste in horror films, but taste is subjective. Hopefully you've enjoyed the list thus far, and hopefully I'm going to give you another good one here. And this one's a little more modern. Something kind of a little more recent. Not super recent, but recent. My suggestion for October 19th is going to be Talk to Me from 2022. It's an Australian supernatural possession horror movie. It's directed by the Rucka Rucka guys from YouTube, Danny and Michael Philippou. Yeah, they directed a horror movie. So this movie, and let's get this out of the way. Let me preface this whole recommendation. There was a lot of hype around this movie, and there's a lot of hype around every single A24 movie that comes out. It's the scariest movie ever. Oh my God, I've never been so scared. Don't buy into any of that shit. Take that with a grain of salt, and also take the haters with a grain of salt. Each movie, each horror movie, you gotta take it for what it is. And when you consider this movie was directed by first-time directors from YouTube, this movie over-delivered in that aspect. Now, is it a perfect 10? Is it the greatest horror film ever? No. My score for this sits at a solid 8. Not perfect, not amazing, not groundbreaking, but it delivered in ways that I didn't expect it to. And as I get into some of the premise, maybe you'll understand. So this movie stars Sophie Wilde as Mia, and she's lost her mother, and she's struggling with grief and addiction and depression, and that's really the overarching premise of this entire movie. Not possession, not the beyond, it's how people deal with grief and addiction and depression. And she lives with her friend Alexandra Jensen, who plays Jade, and her little brother Riley, played by Joe Bird. They hang out with a bunch of other teenagers. You can look up all those people in the cast and crew. I'm not naming them all. These are the main people you need to be focused on. They're all having a party, and a friend brings out this embalmed hand. And if you grab this hand and you say, "Talk to me," you will become possessed, and it gives the possessee a euphoric high. So you can see why this is so appealing to these teenagers, because all of them are kind of dealing with grief, depression, anxiety, and addiction in some way. Even the addiction that they get from holding this hand. Well, this hand has a bunch of tattoos all over it. There's no origin given for the hand. And if you're the type of person that needs a whole lot of backstory before you're just thrown into this world, you might not enjoy this movie as much as some other people did. I don't care about having all the backstory in this. Throw me into this world. Go. Show me what you got. So as these teenagers are grabbing this hand, they all of them individually kind of become possessed for a little while. And it's revealed that you can only hold his hand for 90 seconds. And if you hold it for any longer, those spirits from the other side start to get a bit cantankerous, and they want to take over, and they want to stay longer. And it's kind of alluded to that if they stay longer, they take your soul and they take your place in your body. It's not delivered on any further. Like I said, this movie focuses more on Mia and her grief and her battles with addiction and anxiety and depression, and how she's living in her grief, and she thinks this is going to help her get beyond her grief by communicating with her mother on the other side. And someone gets a hold of this hand that shouldn't have gotten a hold of this hand, and horrible things happen, and it's a turning point in this movie. It's definitely a scene that kind of makes you holy shit. And it seems that A24 likes to do that a lot with some of their movies. There's always this scene where you just kind of Jesus fucking Christ. So expect that. As Mia gets her turn to hold the hand, she really goes from this grief-stricken girl to scary. I think Sophie Wilde's performance in this was really solid. There were a couple of scenes that I thought were kind of goofy. There's a weird toe suck scene. I don't think that landed the way it was supposed to land, at least with me. But the scenes involving Riley with the hand, be prepared for that, because it's probably one of the most horrifying scenes, subject matter wise, because it comes out of nowhere. Like I said, this movie isn't a 10, but it's not like a 5. It's not trash. It's not a dumpster fire. Don't believe the hype in either direction. I went into this movie with low expectations to mid expectations, and it delivered. Beyond those, not too much beyond, but enough that I'm like, God damn, that was pretty fucking good. I give this movie an 8. And while the idea of a possession movie isn't new, and a movie about addiction and grief aren't new, this movie packs it up in a new sort of way with the hand, and kind of taking a Flatliners approach, where in that movie they danced with death by putting themselves under medically. In this movie, they dance with death by holding the hand of a deceased person, the embalmed hand of a deceased person, and summoning spirits. And if they stay too long, much like in Flatliners, they're dead. So in that sense, like I said, this movie kind of takes a couple of ideas from several movies and packages them in a way that, while not groundbreaking, it feels somewhat original to what's been done before. And possession movies are very hard to get me over, because The Exorcist is my top tier echelon movie. It's my S tier horror movie as far as possession and any horror goes. The Exorcist. So all these possession movies that come out are always like down here. This one, I'd put it about right here. And that's pretty fucking good. If you haven't seen it yet, my suggestion for October 19th is from 2022, and it's Talk to Me. Y'all check this movie out. Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. I'll be back tomorrow with the final 11 films in my October Halloween horror movie recommendations. Now, I'm going to tell you, these last movies for October 20th to October 31st on Halloween Day, these are what I consider to be 10s. Not by any perfection scale, but just movies that impacted me and that I love as horror movies and as a horror movie fan. These are movies that got me into the genre, and these are some movies that remind me that there's still a lot that can be done within the genre. So with that being said, y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
You know your shoelace is untied. All right. Who wants some? Who's next?
All right. It's October 20th. Old Dirty Cupcake. And these are my October Halloween horror movie recommendations. And for October 20th, like I said, all of these movies going forward are what I consider to be 10s. And my first one is from 1992, directed by Sam Raimi, Army of Darkness, starring Bruce Campbell as Ash Williams and M. Beth Davids as Sheila. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. This movie blends comedy, horror, slapstick, gore, emotion, quick-witted humor, dry humor, sarcasm, horror again, and just an overall sense of fun. This movie gets a 10 because it is fun. If you haven't seen this movie, put it on and unwind, okay? This movie picks up with Ash Williams after the events of Evil Dead 2, whenever he was pulled back in time by the Necronomicon. He comes down in a medieval time period, him and his car, and he is forced to make do with what he has, and he is forced to reconcile and come to terms with the fact that he is a man out of time, and he must work with the primitive screwheads that he's around to figure out a way to get back to his time. And the way he does that is by retrieving the very same Necronomicon that got him there in the first place. This movie takes many different turns from what Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 were. I love the direction of this movie. The comedy, it lands perfectly. I still laugh just as hard at the same parts now as I did whenever I was around 12 or 13 and I saw this for the first time. This movie, it was life-changing for me, not on like a spiritual level or anything, but it made me realize just how funny and how fun horror really could be. And I'm a fan of Nightmare on Elm Street. Man, there's something magical about the Evil Dead trilogy, and once Army of Darkness hits, it's such a fun ride. Put it on, unwind, and just enjoy being in the presence of greatness that is Bruce Campbell playing Ash Williams, Ashy Slashy. And if you haven't seen it, Ash vs. the Evil Dead is actually pretty fun to watch too. But my focus today is Army of Darkness. And if you haven't seen it, I advise you put it on right now, eat you some edibles, light up that doobie, get a pizza, and just have a good fucking time. Like I said, this one's short and sweet, and if you like, after this video, there's another song I'm attaching by one of my main bands called Crypt Dweller. The song is called Of Legion, and it's kind of based on this movie because the song itself is just about summoning an undead army, an undead horde to conquer the world, and using a spell book to do it. It's just a fun romper stomper. If it's your thing, check it out. If not, that's awesome. But anyway, today's recommendation for the 20th, it's a 10. It's Army of Darkness, directed by Sam Raimi. Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. I'll see y'all tomorrow with the next one. Bye.
resistance. Claim and recommence.
What does everybody want?
All right, all right, all right. Everybody come on in, pull up a chair, pop a squat, old dirty cupcake. And it's day 21. It's October 21st. And my suggestion for today, for my 31 days of Halloween horror movie recommendation, is from 2018. Hereditary. Written and directed by Ari Aster, starring Toni Collette, Gabriel Byrne, Alex Wolff, and Millie Shapiro. Alright, this is spoiler-free territory right here. This movie really caught me off guard. I didn't know what to expect whenever I watched it because I limited my viewing of trailers. So the only thing I really knew was Toni Collette's in it, Alex Wolff's in it, and Millie Shapiro plays a little girl that goes, and I limited anything other than that. So going into this movie, you're not really sure what's happening. You're not really sure what the dichotomy is with this family, but you know there's something strained and something weird going on. So you get to the funeral of Toni Collette's mother, and you realize that Toni Collette did not have a good relationship with her mother. Things were very distressed. Things weren't very good, and she didn't have a lot to do with her family, and she didn't know a lot of people that hung out with her family. She even says as such at the funeral. She almost gets a little bit like country fucking, who the fuck's all you people? You ain't my cousins, you ain't my mama, you don't know my mama. And she's looking at all these people at her mom's funeral and she's confused, like, who the fuck are y'all? Y'all ain't friends of mine, y'all ain't family, so why the fuck are you here? And as suspicious as that is, it kind of just goes under the bridge. She goes on, and then the cracks in the family start to occur a little bit more between her, Toni Collette's character, and Gabriel Byrne. Gabriel Byrne plays this very stoic father who's just trying to keep it together for his family. And he's in such a weird spot that you feel bad for him, because his wife has some personality disorders. She's got some issues that come from family trauma. The children clearly have some family trauma, and he's just trying to do his best in this scenario. Toni Collette's really trying to do her best in the chaos that goes on in her world. So Alex Wolff plays the son Peter, and he's wanting to go to a party. Well, Toni Collette forces him to take Millie Shapiro, which she plays Charlie, forces him to take her to the party, and she eats a cake with nuts. She's got an allergy to nuts, so she starts having a very hard time breathing, and she doesn't have an EpiPen. She got to get her to the hospital, she needs help. So Peter gets her in the vehicle. She's freaking out in the back seat. She can't breathe. She puts the window down, and an event occurs that is the catalyst for everything else that happens in this movie. After that event, the acting done by Alex Wolff, I don't think I took a breath after that happened until Toni Collette screamed in horror when she found what she found. And Alex Wolff is just laying in bed, unblinking, cold-faced, horrified of his own actions, trying to maybe fall asleep and wake up in a world where that didn't fucking happen. But it doesn't. And Toni Collette's character just goes far off the deep end, I think, as any mother would, over the tragic loss of her daughter. And again, that's when you start to realize through Toni Collette's research and digging into her family history that the family had made a deal with King Payman. He's a demon mentioned in the Lesser Keys of Solomon. He's one of Satan's most loyal demons, one of his most loyal generals, I guess you would say. And Payman had been inhabiting the body of Charlie. Payman wants to be in a male host. So who's left? Yeah, alright. So you start to see that Toni Collette's mother and all the rest of her friends and family, not only did they worship King Payman, everything in this movie was not an accident. There is nothing out of place in this movie. There are no oops. There are no coincidences. There are no happenstances. Everything that happens in this movie is orchestrated by this cult and by the Order of King Payman himself through these people. It really goes far out into some supernatural shit that I don't think anybody was really expecting from this movie, but I absolutely loved it. I don't like the comparisons to The Exorcist. The Exorcist is its own thing, from its own time period, and it is truly horrifying. This movie is its own thing from its own time period, and it's really horrifying. And what makes this movie so horrifying, Toni Collette's performance is what makes you scared of things that are happening in this movie. Everyone's reaction to things that are happening. Gabriel Byrne, you feel bad for him. Alex Wolff, he's traumatized and nothing he does makes his mother happy. She even tells him he was an accident, and she tried to schmort him in so many ways, and it was failed. She loved Charlie, but Charlie was her grandma. Charlie was her grandma's baby, so Charlie even says in the movie, who's going to take care of me now? Nobody else loves me. Nobody else cares. Grandma's gone. Go through this movie, and the first couple scenes, you're thinking Charlie's the focal point of this movie, and you find out real fast things are weird. This family is in some fucked up shit, and you begin to really feel bad for them. This movie, it's above and beyond what I expected it to be, and I think that's why it really hit me the way it did. And again, Toni Collette, magic in this movie. How she didn't win awards for this is beyond me. Y'all really missed something there. Check this movie out if you haven't. And if you have, watch it again. Watch it again and pay attention to all the little shit in the background. Watch it again and pay close attention to the minis that Toni Collette's character makes. Watch it again and pay close attention to things that flash on the screen. Watch it again and pay attention to all the nuance of this movie. The nuance and the storytelling and the progression of events in this movie is what makes it a 10, as well as Toni Collette's performance. Y'all have no idea if you haven't seen this movie. And if you check it out and you don't like it, I'm sorry. Maybe find something else on my list you like. But this movie was fucking great. Y'all get out there and watch this movie. Turn it on right now. Right now. Cut it on right now. It's Hereditary from 2018. I'll be back tomorrow with another one. Another 10. Another perfect 10. 10. Another perfect 10. Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween.
Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Oh, Lord, kumbaya.
All right. Everybody come on in. Pull up a chair, pop a squat. I'm Old Dirty Cupcake. And this is my 31 days of Halloween horror movie recommendations. It's October 22nd, which means we're on our 22nd movie. And my suggestion and recommendation for today is James Cameron's Aliens from 1986. Aliens is a follow-up to 1979's Alien, directed by Ridley Scott. This movie picks up 57 years in universe after the events of Alien. We find Ripley, who is still in stasis after one xenomorph destroyed the Nostromo and killed everybody on the crew except for her. She's found, she's revived, and she is interrogated and investigated for the events by Weyland-Yutani Corporation. Yeah, Weyland-Yutani Corporation investigating itself for wrongdoing. Imagine how that's gonna fucking go. So, Weyland-Yutani Corporation calls bullshit on her story. They think she's lying. They don't believe a fucking word of it. However, once losing contact with an exomoon called LV-426, Weyland-Yutani Corporation enlists the help of Carter Burke, played by Paul Reiser. He is a representative, and he is sent not only to question her, but to try and get Ripley to return to LV-426 to see what happened and to see what's going on. She is hoping they are being sent to do a cleansing mission to wipe out anything that could have caused this, especially if it's one of them fucking face huggers or a xenomorph. Burke has a whole team of Space Marines, and these Space Marines are some chomping at the bit, ready to knock shit out motherfuckers, okay? You got Michael Bain as Hicks, you got Bill Paxton as Hudson, and my favorite, your favorite, everybody's favorite Space Marine, played by Jeanette Goldstein, Vasquez. Vasquez is fucking awesome. Don't give me shit about we don't have no strong female women in movies. They've been in movies since the 80s. Fuck you. Ripley and Vasquez. Fuck yeah. Them some bad motherfuckers right there. I'll follow them into battle any fucking day. So these Space Marines get to this fucking exomoon, and the whole fucking place is wiped out. There's fucking nothing. And they're like, well, fuck, we need to get the fuck out of here, because this is terrible. Well, they stumble upon a whole bunch of eggs. That's great. Whole bunch of empty eggs. Well, Ripley knows that's not fucking good. Something bad's about to happen. And as they're doing this search through this exomoon, they find a young girl played by Carrie Henn. She's named Newt in this film. She doesn't talk much. She's terrified, obviously, because she's been on this planet by herself for years after her family was killed by these xenomorphs in front of her. So as she starts building up confidence, you start learning more of her backstory. You start learning about what happened to the terraforming colony that was LV-426. And you also learn that there is far, far more than one xenomorph. And if you saw the damage that was done by one in Alien, imagine the damage done by a fucking army of these things. These perfect killing machines. Their blood is acid, they're fast, they're stealthy, and they communicate, and they are a hive mind. Now, a hive mind to what? Well, Aliens is our first introduction to the concept of this being a queen and worker relationship. These xenomorphs have a queen on LV-426. She is continually laying eggs, and the more eggs she lays, the more face huggers, the more face huggers, the more chest bursters, the more chest bursters, the more xenomorphs. And that's how this cycle works. They conquer planets. They conquer worlds. They are a hive mind. Everything that they do is for the greater service of the Queen. Like I said, if you haven't seen Aliens, take today to check it out. It's my favorite of the series, next to Alien, obviously. But the reason why I selected this one today is because it introduces elements of action, like good old fucking 80s machine gun wielding action. Flamethrowers, bodies getting ripped apart, Space Marines fucking blowing shit up in space on a moon. This movie's fucking great. James Cameron, he really knew what to do to add the dollars to this fucking movie even more so. I say take today, October 22nd, get you some popcorn, pop you some edibles, and just enjoy the ride that Aliens takes you on. And enjoy watching Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley, one of the most badass heroines of our time. My lifetime, indeed. She is fucking incredible. Hail Sigourney Weaver. This movie's fucking great. Y'all watch it, love it, and if you don't, you're wrong. Aliens is great. I'll be back tomorrow with another one. It'll be the 23rd. Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. Bye.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
All right. Everybody come on in, pull up a chair, pop a squat. Old Dirty Cupcake. And it's October 23rd. And that means it's the 23rd movie in my 31 days of Halloween horror movie recommendations. And today, from 1975, this is a very special one. This is from my buddy Payne. Steven Spielberg directed this, and it's not a horror movie. To some it is, but to me it transcends that. Hear me out. This movie is horror, it is action, it is suspense, it is drama, and it even has elements of comedy. Each section of this movie is a masterclass in how to do monster storytelling, horror movie storytelling, storytelling in general. And if you sit down and study this movie, you understand why it has influenced so many movies since 1975, even up until Godzilla Minus One, which was heavily influenced by this movie. With that being said, I'm lumping this movie in with this month for the 23rd, and today's selection, without further ado, is Jaws. That's right, Jaws. You know this movie, you love this movie. This movie is absolute cinematic perfection. You can't sing the praises of this movie enough. There's a reason why it still stands the test of time. It is a masterclass in storytelling, in tension building, in drama, in action, and building that less is more kind of slow burn feel. That tension till you get the reveal, that tension until you get a pop-up scare, the chum feeding and popping his head up out of water. Those kind of scenes are just chef's kiss. Everything in this movie should be studied for another 50 years and another 50 years beyond that, because a lot of this is severely lacking in a lot of movies today. Y'all gotta check out Jaws. This isn't a review. You know this movie's incredible. I don't have to do a whole big breakdown. This movie's pretty cut straightforward. And it stars Roy Scheider as Martin Brody. He's the chief of police. He's trying to tell this sleazy mayor, played by Murray Hamilton, the mayor Larry Vaughn, that you gotta close this beach. There's shark attacks. There's a shark attack. Well, they catch the wrong kind of shark and they open the beach back up. Murray Hamilton plays the sleazy mayor to perfection. He is hateable and you love to hate him. He is everything that you love to hate in this kind of character in this movie. So Brody has to go out and try to catch this shark that's doing all this damage. Then you meet Robert Shaw's character Quint, and you get Richard Dreyfuss playing Matt Hooper, the classic trio of Brody, Quint, and Hooper. So many scenes between these three are just absolute perfection. The scenes on the boat at night are some of the best ever put to screen. Again, I'm not going to spoil a whole lot for this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, stop watching this video and go watch this movie right now. This is going to be the shortest video in this series I've done, and for damn good reason. The longer you spend watching me is the less time you get to watch this movie. Now you go watch Jaws, and y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. See y'all tomorrow. Bye. All right. Everybody come on in, pull up a chair, pop squat. It's the Old Dirty Cupcake, and it's October 24th, which means it's my 24th movie in my 31 days of Halloween horror movie recommendations. For today, if you couldn't tell by the opening, from 1980, my recommendation is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Yeah, this is a classic. This is a 10. If you haven't seen this, again, like yesterday with Jaws, the longer you spend watching me, the less time you have to watch The Shining. So here's a brief synopsis. It stars Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance. He is the linchpin of this film. And not to be forgotten in this film is Shelley Duvall, rest in peace. She was a tremendously talented actress, and she really shined in this movie as Wendy. And young Danny Lloyd as Danny Doc Torrance, their son. Such an eerie presence on screen at such a young age, and he sells everything that he encounters in this film in such a way that you really feel for him. He's just in this spot with his father, who is played by Jack Nicholson, who took this job as the caretaker of the Overlook Hotel, and he's a recovering alcoholic. He's dealing with depression. He's an aspiring novelist, so he's hoping that taking his family here will revive him and make him feel more creative and give him a nice reset. He'll have some time to write a novel, and the separation from society will be a good thing. Yeah, it's not. It's not at all. The Overlook Hotel is haunted, shot at the Stanley Hotel, which is a haunted hotel in the United States of America. It's a beautiful hotel. It looks beautiful in this movie. It looks beautiful in real life. I long to go and stay at this hotel just for the experience. Like I said, Jack Nicholson kills it in this movie. Shelley Duvall's incredible. The back and forth between them as their relationship starts to devolve because of isolation, because of Jack losing his mind. She's just trying to do her best and keep her child safe. And this hotel and the isolation, it takes such a toll on Jack Nicholson, and it is amazing to watch him unravel through this entire movie. And by the end, he's just left a frozen madman. This is a great movie. Again, it's The Shining. This is my 24th movie. If you haven't seen this movie, stop watching this. Go watch The Shining. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. Y'all have a wonderful Halloween and a wonderful October. I'll be back tomorrow with my 25th recommendation. Bye.
We have such sights to show you.
Hey, honey, you want some salt for your steak?
Yeah, sure.
Gotcha. That's more salt than you wanted.
All right. Everybody come on in. Pop chair, pop squat. It's the Old Dirty Cupcake. And it's October 25th. We're getting closer. For today, in my 31 days of Halloween horror movie recommendations, for day 25 from 1988, Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. Now, Clive Barker stepped away from directing duties on this one and left it in the hands of Tony Randall. In this movie, we have a returning cast of Doug Bradley as Pinhead. We've got Claire Higgins returning as Julia Cotton. And most importantly, Ashley Lawrence as Kirsty Cotton. Kirsty survived the events of Hellraiser, and in this movie, she's in a psychiatric ward. And in this psychiatric ward, nobody believes her. She keeps getting sedated. She's having a hard time. But there's this one doctor who believes her, and he's curious. He's been up to some shit that ties right into what Kirsty's going through. Dr. Chenard, played by Kenneth Cranham. He took a patient and put that patient on that nasty-ass mattress from the first movie. And guess who comes back? Julia Cotton, again played by Claire Higgins. And Claire Higgins in this movie, she is scary, she's unnerving, she's very unsettling, she's beautiful, she's mesmerizing, she's sexy, and she's got this psychotic hot stepmom thing going on. And she's gonna kill you, but you'll still do anything for her almost. She has that allure to her. And in this film, Dr. Chenard and Julia Cotton team up and think they are going to enter hell. Dr. Chenard takes a friend that Kirsty has made in this psychiatric ward named Tiffany. She's a mute, and she's played by Emma Jean Borman. He takes her and offers her as a sacrifice to the Leviathan and the Lament configuration. She's trapped in hell. Chenard and Julia Cotton go into hell. While they're there, Julia Cotton reveals her plan and double crosses Chenard. Chenard becomes a Cenobite, and things take an even bigger turn. Kirsty Cotton keeps receiving messages that she thinks are from her dad. It's not. Sean Chapman returns as Frank Cotton, and he is also trapped in hell. So she has to overcome not only Julia Cotton, Chernard, but Frank Cotton, who is now in hell as well. The Cenobites don't really want her. They're not interested in her. They see her as innocent. She's not the one that's been summoning them. But Chernard becomes pretty powerful. The events in this movie take a turn that not a lot of people were a fan of, but I enjoyed it. I think they wanted to tell a bigger story based on what goes on in the Hellbound Heart and the Hell Priest stories. But this movie gives you more of that universe. It gives you more lore, and I don't want to spoil everything that happens in the movie. You get some more Cenobites, you get returning Cenobites, and you also get more lore as far as this hell world that they come from, and you get to see Leviathan, which is this massive diamond-shaped lament configuration with these black beams that come out of it. And within that area, the entirety of this whole entire hell world is a gigantic labyrinth. It's a gigantic labyrinth of people who are trapped in hell, people who are trapped in there to relive their worst nightmares, Cenobites, and other creatures that have just been turned and have submitted their will to Leviathan. I can't sing the praises of this movie enough. I loved the first one too, but this one holds a special place in my heart. Hellraiser 2 is something magical to me. I enjoy some of the other Hellraisers, especially some that went straight to VHS, but Hellraiser 1 and 2, specifically Hellbound, are tremendous steps forward. One of the handful of examples of sequels that do it right and appease the crowd. So if you haven't seen Hellbound, I suggest you get yourself some pork rinds and some barbecue sauce, get you a big old fat doobie, sit back, relax, and watch this sumbitch, because Doug Bradley is always incredible as Pinhead. Kirsty Cotton, played by Ashley Lawrence, is awesome. Claire Higgins is incredible. She steals the show in this movie. And Kenneth Cranham as Chernard, Dr. Chernard, he's very disturbing. Y'all gotta check this movie out. It's my 25th recommendation. Y'all come back tomorrow for my 26th. Now before y'all run off, y'all stick around after this video for a song called Labyrinth of Forsaken that is lyrically inspired by the Hellraiser franchise, specifically this one, and it's by my main band, one of my main bands, called Crypt Dweller. If you like what you hear, check out the Bandcamp link down in the description. Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. See y'all tomorrow. Bye.
Awaken from slumbers of night.
come on in. Pull up a chair, pop squat. It's Old Dirty Cupcake. And it's October 26th. And I am still going with my 31 days of Halloween horror movie recommendations. And for today, I'm going to keep this one real quick. My recommendation from 1997, Event Horizon. That's fucking right. This is the old shifty cover. Really cool, really cool. Had that for years. This movie was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Yeah, I know, the guy that did the Resident Evil movies. It's surprising to me, too. You've got Lawrence Fishburne as Captain Miller, Sam Neill as Dr. Weir, and Kathleen Quinlan as Peters, amongst other people whose roles are also expounded upon a little bit more in the movie. And everybody gets their own little moment to have a story, have a moment, and the focus of this movie is these three characters. And in this movie, you're in the year 2047. Brief synopsis: the Event Horizon, which is a ship that was designed to travel faster than light, or basically travel through a wormhole from one point to another instantaneously through space-time, has gone missing and has returned after 7 years. There is a distress beacon coming from the ship every 2 minutes, so the crew of the Lewis and Clark, with the captain being Lawrence Fishburne, have to go to this ship with Dr. Weir to investigate what is happening, what happened, where this ship went. Are there any survivors? And like I said, I'm going to keep this one short. Mild spoilers. You find out the ship had basically tore a hole through space-time and entered the dimension that it resembles hell to most people that watch this movie. It's a combination of Hellraiser, Doom, Warhammer, and Dead Space to a degree. This dimension is a nightmare. It's nightmare fuel. It's vile. It's repulsive. It's repugnant. Horrible things happen to the people that go there, and they enjoy it seemingly. This movie, by all accounts, should not exist. It had 10 months to film and get everything done and release. Then the studio jumped in and said, oh, there's too much gore and there's too much graphic shit in this. Let's cut that shit out. So what should have been a 2-hour and 20-minute movie, they cut it down to 96 minutes. And there's 30 to 40 minutes of this movie that's gone. Gone. They can't find anything. There's nothing stored or saved. The film might have been stored improperly. They don't know. They have tried to find the director's cut of this and nothing can be done. I personally would like to see Paul W.S. Anderson or a new director get this movie and take it to its fullest reality, take it to its purest form, and let us see just exactly what was meant to occur in one of my favorite sci-fi horror movies. It's Lovecraftian, it's eldritch, it's cosmic horror, it's space horror, it's sci-fi, it's gore, it's spiritual/religious horror to a degree. I mean, the ship in this movie is in the shape of a crucifix, and not only that, the design of the ship is very gothic. There's long alleys, the inside looks very cathedral-like, and it's such a weird-looking ship. Everything in this movie was mostly practical effects. These are real sets. This is real practical effects, and it really shows, and I would have loved to have seen what this movie could have been with everything still intact. But I still love this movie, and I still give it a 10 because of the impact that it had on me whenever I first saw it. I love this movie, so for today, do yourself a favor, take a couple hours and watch Event Horizon, and y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. And if you're interested, stick around after this video for another song by my main band, one of my main bands, called Crypt Dweller. The song is inspired by this movie, and it's called Proxima Centauri. Y'all have a wonderful Halloween and a wonderful October. I'll see you tomorrow for the next one. Bye.
Trust me.
come on in, pull up a chair, pop, squat. It's October 27th, and that means it's my 27th movie in my 31 days of Halloween horror movie recommendations. Today's recommendation is a very important recommendation. It is a crucial recommendation to horror history because it spawned an entire genre of horror film afterwards. That's right, if you could not tell by the opening with the brilliant Dwayne Jones, today's recommendation is from 1968, and it's George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. This is our first introduction to what we now know of and love as a zombie, an unrelenting, undead horde of humans feeding on other humans. The flesh and blood and muscle and tissue of humans. Not yet brains. Not yet. That didn't happen till later. So the importance of this movie cannot be understated, and it cannot be overstated. Everyone knows how important this film is. You know the premise of this movie. You know the plot. I don't have to break down very much. The longer you're watching me, the less time you have to watch this movie. Dwayne Jones, my God, as Ben. What a strong force of a dude in this film in this time period. Judith O'Dea as a scared, horrified woman not knowing what's going on after just losing her brother in the graveyard, played by Russell Striner. But Dwayne Jones in this movie is something else. He really takes charge. And even though this film came out in 68 and it has its undertones, it has its racial undertones considering the time period, you can watch this movie anytime and it still stands on its own as just a damn good horror film. It's a 10 out of 10, despite it being an independent film, despite it being low budget, despite it being filmed in black and white, despite the cast and crew being complete amateurs, and despite George Romero basically doing everything himself on this movie. I love this movie, and I strongly advise you take some time to watch this movie, and then after this movie, go back and watch interviews with Dwayne Jones and with George Romero, and really dive into the history of this movie. I love it. It's a classic, and it's pivotal in horror movie history. You gotta go check it out right now. That's right. Go watch it. Today's recommendation is Night of the Living Dead. I'm keeping this one short. Y'all have a wonderful Halloween and a wonderful October. I'll see y'all tomorrow with the next one. Bye.
Gotcha, bitch!
All right. Everybody come on in. Pull up a chair and pop a squat. It's the Old Dirty Cupcake. And it's October 28th, which means it's my 28th movie in my 31 days of Halloween horror movie recommendations. Now for today, much like the other films I've recommended since the 20th, this is a 10. And not only is this a 10, I consider this to be one of the greatest horror movies ever made. It's easily top 2 or 3. This movie came out in 1974, directed by Tobe Hooper, and they used the premise of based on a true story to appeal to a broader audience. And while it is somewhat based on the horrific events of Ed Gein in Wisconsin, most of this film is fictional. That's right. You know what I'm talking about. Today's recommendation is The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A classic. 1974 got slapped in the mouth with an absolutely genre-redefining horror film. And I don't know if they realized it then. This movie not only redefined horror, it redefined the slasher kind of film, like your Hitchcock-type slashers. This turned it into something far more brutal and something far more grounded and down to earth, in my opinion, because not only does this movie feature a cannibalistic family, it's set on a farm on this massive estate of farmland in Texas. And where I live in the South, there are a lot of fucking farmhouses and a lot of farmland that looked exactly like this and still do in several areas. So to my young 8-9-year-old mind, this shit could have very well been happening where I live, because there's a lot of farms and there are a lot of ho-dunk, po-dunk, well-in-there motherfuckers around these areas. And barbecue's popular, so I was unsure. I'm like, is there people chopping people up and making chili out of them around here? Holy shit. So this movie really affected me and really stuck with me. And then as I got older, I realized the folly of my youth, the folly of my childhood mind. The world is far, far worse than this movie. But yeah, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm not going to spoil too much again. It's a movie about a group of kids who are traveling to investigate some grave robberies, and they end up out at this big old homestead after they follow the advice of a hitchhiker played by Edwin Neal. Well, when they're there, they meet Leatherface, Bubba, played by Gunnar Hansen, and I had a lovely opportunity and a blessed opportunity to meet that man back in 2010 or 2011, I think it was. What a sweetheart. What a kind human being. He was baffled at why I had Leatherface tattooed on my inner arm here, but I told him that his portrayal as Leatherface just had such an impact on me that I had to get it tattooed on me to keep with me forever. He signed some pictures for me, shook hands, and went on about our lives. I hope he understood just how many people that role impacted in our lives and how much we love that film. And like I said, this movie's a 10. And if you're not watching it, why the fuck are you watching me? Stop watching me and go turn on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Listen to that lovely, lovely, horrifying narration by Mr. John Larroquette from Night Court. You're following Marilyn Burns. She's your main character in this movie other than Leatherface. She plays Sally Hardesty. Sally and her friends get into a whole bunch of shit. And like I said, I'm not spoiling anything. You got to go watch this movie, because if you've been living under a rock or you've had your head up your ass that long, that shit's on you. Go watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And if you like this movie, stick around after the video. I got a little song attached to this by one of my little solo projects, Depraved Flesh, and this song is called Hooks in the Throat. I'll be back tomorrow with my 29th recommendation. That's right. We're getting there. And if you thought the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was incredible, wait till you see these last ones. Oh my God. And there's still more. I think I'm going to keep this going. Movie Mondays, Scary Sundays. I don't know. We'll see. But y'all stay tuned. Y'all come back tomorrow. Y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. Bye.
You see, when a man bleeds, it's just tissue. But blood from one of you things won't obey when it's attacked. It'll try and survive. Crawl away from a hot needle, say.
I'm Wilfred Brimley, and I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes about diabetes.
All right. Everybody come on in, pull up a chair, and pop a squat. It's October 29th, which means it's my 29th movie in my 31 days of Halloween horror movie recommendations. Now, I knew my final 3 would have to be heavy hitters. These final 3 are my Paul Heyman guys, if you're a wrestling fan. So, for today, on Halloween Eve from 1982, my recommendation is John Carpenter's The Thing. That's fucking right. Alright, this movie stars Kurt Russell as McCready, Keith David as Childs, and Wilfred Brimley, because he's going to talk to you about diabetes, amongst an ensemble cast of others. This movie takes place in Antarctica, and it revolves around a research crew at a United States outpost. The movie opens with another research crew from another outpost in a helicopter shooting at, in pursuit of a husky. And you're kind of wondering, why the fuck are they shooting at this husky? Well, they land, and as they pursue the husky, one dude blows up the helicopter and himself, and the other guy comes in a little bit too hot, and he gets domed. This research crew at the United States area, they have no clue what the fuck is happening. So they go out to the Norwegian when they investigate, and they find the other outpost is destroyed. There are frozen bodies. There are burnt bodies. There are burnt bodies that look like mutated humans, and it's just an absolute fucking disaster. It's a nightmare. So you're wondering, what's so special about this damn husky? And I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't seen this movie. I am not one of those channels that breaks down every single fucking scene and gives my opinion on it. These are recommendations. I want you to watch the movie and formulate your own opinion because you've got your own brain. This movie is a masterclass in isolation horror. It's a masterclass in Lovecraftian horror. It's a masterclass in suspense. It's a masterclass in paranoia, because everything in this movie happens for a reason. When you watch this film, pay close attention to everyone's behavior. Pay close attention to things that are said. Pay close attention to what people are wearing. Pay close attention to who is in a room and who isn't when certain things happen. This movie, you really got to take it in on your own time and watch it and process it for yourself. This is such a special movie. It holds a very special place in my heart for horror because it was so groundbreaking and because of the effect it had on me for a long time. Much like something like They Live, I found myself just looking at people around me like, are you? What are you? Are you the thing? Because they're not in Antarctica alone. These outposts are researching something very specific for a very specific reason. They found something that isn't of Earth. And that's all I'm going to give you. I want you to watch this movie and I want you to enjoy it, especially if it's your first time watching it. I don't want to ruin this film. And if you've seen this movie 100 times, get your fucking pull and dive in. I'm going to be back tomorrow with another heavy hitter. And until then, y'all have a wonderful October and a wonderful Halloween. Bye.
Halloween night. A small American town. 15 years ago.
Good evening, I'm Michael Myers. I have enormous psychological problems, and I'm going to take them out on you.
All right, everybody. Come on in. Pull up a chair and pop a squat. It's the Old Dirty Cupcake, and it's October 30th. It's Halloween Eve, and you know what that means. It's my 30th movie in my 31 days of Halloween horror movie recommendations, and I'm going to get right into it. From 1978, my recommendation for today is John Carpenter's Halloween. I love Maniac, but Maniac is second only to this film right here, okay? Halloween is the greatest slasher movie to ever be put to film. With a budget of around $300-something thousand, John Carpenter crafted an absolute masterpiece. From the beginning to the end, this movie oozes atmosphere, tension, trauma, horror, and fear from the very beginning. The opening scene, a young Michael wearing a handheld shot walking into the house, first-person shooter kind of thing here, goes into the house, picks up a mask, grabs a knife, murders his sister. And as he is unmasked on the front lawn by cops, you just see that this child is emotionless, confused maybe, in a clown costume covered in blood, holding this massive fucking knife. 15 years goes by after young Michael had been institutionalized. He escapes, and he heads back to Haddonfield because he wants to kill again. And for some reason, he targets Laurie Strode, played by the amazing Scream Queen, the Scream Goddess herself, Jamie Lee Curtis. Why he picks her, we don't really find any of that out in this film. He's the Shape. He is just evil incarnate, and he wants to kill. And once he has selected a target, anyone that gets in his way will meet the same fate that that target will eventually meet. Michael is relentless. He is emotionless. He is, I wouldn't even say he's a monster. He just wants to kill. And once he has a target set, that's it. You're not swaying him from it. You're not changing him away from it. He's going to do it. He's going to kill you in the process too. Michael Myers is one of the most terrifying slashers because he could be anyone. He could be anybody. You have no idea when someone's going to snap. You have no idea when someone is just going to go off and take a life. And Michael, he's an exaggerated version of that. He's a fantasized version of that in this film because there are some supernatural elements to Michael in this film. He can't die. Nobody can really kill him. He's relentless. And he just so happens to know where everybody's at that he wants. And he just so happens to be able to sneak around. And Jamie Lee Curtis, along with Donald Pleasance, playing Dr. Samuel Loomis, really make this movie come together. And without them, the boogeyman, the Shape, Michael Myers, he's just another killer. But Pleasance makes him out to be some supernatural threat, and you believe it. He really sells it. You just know that there's something otherworldly about Michael in this movie, and you can't put your finger on it, but you know it's there. The way he kills, the way he goes after people, the way he watches people, the way he stalks. To say I love this movie would be an understatement. This movie is the perfect slasher. Minimal blood. I don't think there's any gore, really. There's blood. There's some really awesome kills. But this movie gets you, and it hooks you with tension, with atmosphere, with the amazing score. Oh my God, this score is terrifying. It could be set to anything, and it would make it instantly more terrifying. Set the Halloween score to people shopping in a grocery store. Instantly more terrifying. And not only does the score play an important part, the cinematography and the lighting. Oh my God, the scene where Laurie is trying to hide from him, and there's the black doorway, and all you see is the moonlight gradually lighting Michael's face as he comes into the shot. That kind of stuff is terrifying, and you don't have to use buckets of blood to do it. And I love buckets of blood, but this movie scared me so bad when I was about 6 or 7 that I ran and hid in my mom's room. I woke up screaming, "Michael, he fucked me up." So if you haven't, I highly suggest, I find it hard to believe that you haven't seen this movie, but if you haven't, do yourself a favor, get you some popcorn, get you a big old fat doobie, and put on John Carpenter's Halloween, and just enjoy the ride. Enjoy that music, the do-do, 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 do-do. That shit is so good. I love this movie. I can't wait to tell y'all the movie I got picked for tomorrow. Like I said, to me, they're interchangeable, but fuck it. I recommended Halloween today because tomorrow is my favorite Halloween movie of all time. It's my favorite horror movie of all time. And until then, y'all have a wonderful October. and a wonderful Halloween Eve, and a wonderful Halloween.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Everybody come on in, pull up a chair, and pop a squat. It's the Old Dirty Cupcake. Happy Halloween, everybody. That's right. We made it to the end of the line. It's my final movie in my 31 days of Halloween horror movie recommendations. And this movie that I'm going to recommend today, it's a very special film because I saw this movie when I was around 7 years old. I snuck out of my bedroom and I was hiding behind the couch watching this as my dad was watching it on HBO maybe in 1990, 1991, sometime in that ballpark. And my mom knew I had snuck out, knew I was watching whatever my dad was watching. Didn't bother to stop me, didn't bother to tell me to take my ass back to bed. They just let me be traumatized very early on. This movie was fully capable of doing that in 1990 to a 7-year-old mind. And the movie that I'm going to recommend today, without any further ado, if you could not tell by the opening, from 1973, based on a novel and a screenplay by the amazing William Peter Blatty, and directed by William Friedkin, it's The Exorcist. This movie is a masterpiece. This is a perfect demonic possession horror movie. This is a perfect horror film. And it wasn't even intended to be a horror film. It was meant to be a film about losing your faith, questioning your faith, questioning and dealing with the depression that comes with losing your faith, all while battling things and dealing with things that in many ways can confirm your faith and cause that battle to be even more intense. And in this film, I want you to put aside your belief or disbelief in whatever deity you choose and pretend for just these 2 hours that you're Catholic. Pretend that you are Ellen Burstyn and your daughter is possessed and you don't know what to do. So you have doctors run all these tests on her. And when you hear about stories about people getting up and walking out of the theater, it was because of the test scenes that were being done on Reagan. It was way too much for a lot of people in 1973. They couldn't handle it. This movie was the Antichrist, the devil incarnate to people then, okay? This movie was earth-shattering when it came out. This movie changed the landscape of horror far before most of the other movies that I've recommended this month have. This movie set the bar for demonic possession films so high that only stuff like Hereditary gets even remotely close. It made such a splash that it spawned so many copycats, spoofs like Devil with the Blue Dress. I saw this movie at a very young age, around 7 or so. The scene that I was hiding behind the couch was the crucifix scene where she is stabbing herself in her vagina.
No. Mm-mm. No. No. Hell no. No. I refuse. No.
Jesus Christ, that movie. This movie was so ahead of its time that it really shook people to their core, and with good cause. And when you watch this movie, again, suspend your disbelief and just ride this wave of battling good and evil and just being carried away into this universe. Because in this film, we follow Linda Blair, who plays Reagan. And her mother, Chris McNeil, played by Ellen Burstyn, they have a very brief moment on screen where Reagan isn't possessed, and they do enough to make you realize they have a wonderful bond as mother and daughter. So it's even more traumatizing and horrifying when Reagan becomes possessed. Now, from the very opening of this film, you know that there's going to be an ultimate battle of good versus evil, because we pick up in the beginning with Father Merrin, played by Max von Sydow. He's in Iraq, in an area where some archaeology is being done, and he finds a statue of Pazuzu. Pazuzu is a demon, and while this demon is not named in this film, we get its iteration and its manifestation as Captain Howdy, played by the amazing Eileen Dietz. She did the face, and she deserves a lot of credit for how eerie she was in this film, too. Father Merrin, while in Iraq, after discovering this statue, realizes where he is and what he is about to have to go up against. And you get this amazing scene where Father Merrin is standing across from this big statue of Pazuzu, and you know that it's going to boil down to this final battle of demonic forces and the exorcists, or evil versus good. Who will triumph? What will happen? And you also have Jason Miller playing Father Karras. He's battling his own falling away from his faith because his mother is dying and he feels like he is abandoning her when he should be taking care of her. And once she dies, he really goes off the deep end with his loss of faith. But all the while that he's doing this, and all the while that he's dealing with this, he and Father Merrin go to Chris McNeil's house to see what's going on with this young girl named Reagan. And when they enter the room, the bed starts shaking, and they know instantly that they're dealing with something that isn't of this world. And the further this movie progresses, there's a whole lot of gore, there's a whole lot of mutilation, there's a whole lot of vulgarity, and it's absolutely incredible, and it's done in such a way that you're not repulsed so much, but you're just drawn into watching this family suffer, and you feel for them because you're watching these priests do everything they can to try to save this girl, and they can't, because Pazuzu knows their weaknesses, knows how to play off of them. Pazuzu knows how to fuck with Chris McNeil, knows how to utilize Father Merrin's weaknesses against him, and it certainly knows how to use Father Karras' weaknesses against him. Uses his mother against him on several levels. Makes his battle with his loss of faith so much more intense in this film. And you start to realize as the film goes on that the battle isn't so much between Father Lancaster Merrin and Pazuzu as it is between Father Karras, his loss of faith, and Pazuzu taunting him over his loss of faith, and what he may have to do, and what may have to come from him battling this demonic entity that has completely taken over Reagan. And I don't want to spoil the rest of this movie. I want you to watch it. I want you to suspend your disbelief and just have a really good fucking time. Like I said, it's not the scariest movie by modern standards at all. But to me, it's one of the greatest horror it's the greatest horror film ever made. It's the greatest horror film ever made. Nothing has beaten it yet. Nothing has toppled it from its throne yet. And I don't really foresee anything doing that for me, because this movie had such an impact on me. And if you want to watch Halloween today, I get it, because it's Halloween. But like I said, I want to recommend this one because it's such a heavy hitter. It changed and paved the way for demonic horror films going forward. And not all of them have been good. Not all of them have even been, like, worth mentioning. But you have some that really try to reach that bar set. You know, you got Hereditary. You got The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Some of those are pretty good. Some of those are like 8s, 9.5s. They're just phenomenal films. But The Exorcist really set the tone and the bar for scaring people with the demonic possession theme. With that being said, folks, y'all have a wonderful Halloween, and y'all go enjoy this movie for me, okay? And just soak in all the religious horror that comes with it. I'll probably be back with more movie recommendations as the year goes on. I kind of like doing these. I've had a lot of fun, even if there ain't that many people watching them. I'm still having fun, and I hope y'all are too, and I hope y'all have enjoyed the movies that I've recommended. With that being said, y'all have a wonderful Halloween, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.